Welcome to the Uncommon Transformation television series.
Akwa Ibom, ayayao, sinyana barasone ki songe mananye. Akwa Ibom ojit, ayayao, ayayao.
Parliaments worldwide are synonymous with power, reason being that parliamentarians are the custodians of the people's mandate to act on their behalf for their overall development, growth and well-being. For this reason, heads of governments globally and their component parts must appear for themselves or by proxy before Parliament to present and defend the appropriation bill for the fiscal year in question. Here in Akwa Ibom State, the procedure is no different. The determination of the Governor Akpabio Led Administration to further the Uncommon Transformation program of the administration, which has changed the shape and content of the state, was recently given fillip with the 2014 budget. Therefore, in line with the provision of Section 121 subsection 1 of 1999 Constitution, Chief Akpabio led members of the executive arm of government into the hallowed chambers of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, where he laid down the budget for 2014 before the legislature for consideration.
We therefore have come today into these hallowed chambers as usual. You have to waive your rules to allow strangers to join you. They have provided the means for us to take the state to new heights of socio-economic achievements. I want to pay tribute once again to the Right Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and all the House officers and members of this House for your patriotism and for your forthrightness.
The sound budgeting principle and prudent financial management approach of the Akwa Ibom State government under the watchful eyes of Governor Akpabio has continued to bear fruits of development and transformation. It is also worthy of mention that the administration has showed no sign of slowing down on projects and service delivery to her people, despite preparations to winding down next year. The Akpabio-led administration has consistently in the last 7 years appropriated 80% of its total budget to capital expenditure as against 20% to recurrent expenditure. This mode of budgeting is targeted at true development. It is a winner any day. It is responsible for the massive physical and mental infrastructure renaissance in the state, otherwise tagged Uncommon Transformation. This sound budgeting principle has seen the government construct over 1,300 kilometers of roads made up of over 350 roads in the 31 local government areas and still counting. More than 28 bridges, witnessed the birth of an international airport with world-class facilities, the ongoing construction of an Olympic-sized stadium, free and compulsory education policy, the multifaceted Tropicana Entertainment Center, boost in the agro-allied sector with women and youth empowerment programs with accompanying training, and empowerment of over 4,000 youths with 500,000 naira each under the Integrated Farmer Scheme and Women in Agriculture Development Program were there. The period under review also witnessed a tremendous growth in the power sector, improved workers' welfare and package of 21,000 naira minimum wage, brand new ongoing specialist hospital and referral home, the engagement of over 2,060 women under the newly launched Green Brigade program, the list is endless. The 2014 appropriation bill, tagged Budget of Actualization, is aimed at consolidating on the gains and achievements of the past years and widening the scope of continuous service delivery.
The actualization of the Uncommon Transformational, the new Akwa Ibom State. Put it that way. What is the new Akwa Ibom? That is to move our state from the shackles we knew of its yesterday to its present state, and able to reassure our people of the reshaping of the state by the end of 2014. I don't want to speak much of what has happened because those who have eyes can see, and even the blind can feel the lack of hope on the streets of it. To reshape our state to the front row of socio-economic and political relevance in the Committee of States in Nigeria and beyond remains our focus.
One interesting feature of the 2014 budget is that it is hinged on international public sector accounting standards, IPSAS mode of budgeting. This is a new accounting concept practiced internationally and adopted by the federal government.
Akwa Ibom is now the first state to adopt this concept in its budget regulation. This concept has broken government services and functions into 5 main sectors: general administration, economic, law, and justice, of course, regional and social sectors. All ministries, departments, agencies of government have been grouped into these sectors according to the functions they perform.
This is for better service delivery, transparency and accountability, a point supported by the Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Sam Ikon, and Chairman, House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Honorable Onofiok Liuk.
The IPSAS itself is predicated on transparency and accountability. It's very detailed, very transparent, and accountability is very clear. Because no expenditure is done in general terms. Everything is tied to specifics. That's the beauty of the IPSAS. Every expenditure is tied to specific heading. For instance, before now you could have something like maybe a heading, like a general heading, like a training program or trainings. Now there's nothing like that. What you have is training on this, training on very specific, so that once that money is not applied for that purpose, it's queryable. It flips. But before now, you just had training, so you can apply it to any form of training. So the same way, you can't have like roads, construction, and you just budget a certain amount. No, it's now specific to the road, on the kilometers, so that if you are looking at the records, you know that X naira was budgeted for this and it's been applied.
Let me commend the State Executive Council in the first instance for adopting the International Public Sector Accounting System known as IPSAS, which makes for transparency, which makes for accountability, in the sense that before now, in the budget proposals before the assembly from the State Executive Council, you can have a line item and then you have figures allocated. Maybe too many project or description lumped into one, and then at the last column you have what they call anticipated targets. Yes, it was fine, but it used to be clumsy now and very ambiguous. Now with IPSAS, IPSAS allocates codes to government programs, government functions, where each government project is going to be cited. Like you have the administrative code, you have the functional code, you have the geo code, which makes that if you take the budget of a state, you should be able to know where that particular project or where each particular project is being cited. Any investor who comes into the state right now will, from any part of the world, can know whether he wants to put in his money in the state or not, looking at the budget of the state on its face value, because everything is transparent, everything is open, there is no ambiguity. So IPSAS is one good thing to happen to us.
The 2014 appropriation bill of 496.374 billion naira is slightly lower than the total revised appropriation bill of 599.180 billion naira for the 2013 fiscal year. So what is the policy thrust of the 2014 budget?
Building a strong fiscal regime through the expansion of our revenue base and the elimination of wastages and leakages in the system. We must go down on expenditure, building on the current foundation so far laid and consolidating the gains of a world-class infrastructural development by employing effective public-private partnerships, invigorating the agricultural sector and the agro-allied industries that are springing up in the state. We want to make the sector attractive and responsive to global trends. We will try our best to ensure that government subsidies reach end users and generate output to ensure a sustainable food supply for consumption as well as provide raw materials to agro-allied industries. Building an efficient scheduling network around the state that is proactive in order to follow attacks and make the state more beautiful, and for this I want to thank the security chiefs across the state.
Though the budget has not been passed, however, Honorable Luke says Akwa Ibom people will have the best as the legislature had public sessions during which all the sections of civil society and other interest groups had their say in contributing to the document to represent the yearnings and aspirations of the people.
Before we submit a final report, I'm talking now as a committee on finance and appropriation, we always undertake an inspection. We go to the site to see the level of completion, whether it commensurates with the money that has been drawn down, and whether it is in tandem with the presentation that the different heads of ministries, that's commissioners, have made during budget defense time. But an innovation in the House of Assembly, Akwa Ibom State, for the second year, we subjected the budget, we subjected the appropriation bill to a public hearing, where we invited the organized private sector, we invited the civil society organization, we invited Nigerian Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State Council, we invited civil liberty organization, the students, the traditional fathers, all the components of the Akwa Ibom society, the Akwa Ibom citizenry, to come, and we subjected the bill to public hearing, and we collected memo from the people on what they think the budget of 2014 should look like, and what project they think that government should concentrate their energy as this administration is winding down.
A quick glance at the sectorial allocation shows very handsome allocation to key areas. Agriculture, which is an employment generator, is allocated 9.160 billion. Education, Science and Technology has an allocation of 13.814 billion. To watchers of Akwa Ibom economy, this did not come as a surprise, as Akpabio did not pretend that education is perhaps the strongest pillar on which his administration stands to secure the future of his people. It is also in tandem with United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO's advice to governments to allocate 26% of their budgets to education. Land, housing and urban development and health have 16.154 billion and 15.948 billion naira respectively. The synergy and cordial relationship between the legislature and the executive accounts for the quantum leap in development in the state. The Speaker thus commended the Governor on his management and implementation of previous budgets.
Your Excellency, your fiscal discipline is gallant and worthy of the commendation of this legislature, which has, through its oversight and appraisal, seen consistency in your implementation of not just an appropriation bill, which we passed into law, but every other law passed and signed into law by you. Your Excellency, we have observed that the implementation of projects has been acceptable. We've also observed that the spirit of the projects in our state is commendable. A detribalized person with passion for all spheres and development of our state. Your Excellency, as legislators, our major other thing is to attract development to our constituencies. In this regard, we have done so much. Our constituents are happy. We have projects in all our constituencies, and this helps us report progress during our constituency periods.
All ministries and parastatals have been busy defending their proposals before the House committees to ensure the state gets the best. It is worthy of mention that the Akwa Ibom model of budget preparation and passage is attracting attention from far and wide. While preparations are on for passage of the budget for 2014 fiscal year, a delegation from the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda is in town to understudy the state's lawmaking process and budget preparation.
So we are here first and foremost. It's because of the relationship that I cultivated, and my speaker cultivated with the Speaker of Akwa Ibom, the Right Honorable Econ Samuel, when we met in the Commonwealth meetings and conferences. So it dates back. So in that relationship, we got engaged to get to know how the Parliament operates, how the Parliament of Uganda operates. So it's from there that we picked on Akwa Ibom State. First from that personal relationship, but also from what we were reading. And at one time he had this book about the development of Akwa Ibom State, from where Akwa Ibom State was and where it is and where it's going to be. So we picked interest on that. But we have been impressed from when we got here on the developments, on the transformation that has taken place here, with the good leadership of the governor and the speaker and the members of assembly here. So we are struck by that, the type of the infrastructure in terms of road, the schools, the hospitals, and name them. So we are picking from that outside the what we had wanted to know how the parliaments operate. We came to know how to understand how the committees operate at the state level. Also, we would want to understand how the leadership of the committees in the state appointed in the assembly, but also underscore how do the members of parliament here deal with the constraints. Are there similarities? Do the problems or challenges we face similar to what they have? And if they are, how can we be able to help? The other one also, how their public accounts committee operates.
It is worthy of note that while most other governments are inactive and have literally closed shop at this time because they will not be gunning for re-election in 2015, Governor Akpabio is seemingly re-energized, aiming at breasting the tape across the finishing line in 2015 much stronger than he powered off the starting blocks in 2007. At the twilight of last year, he awarded contract for the dualization of the 72-kilometer Itina-Eket Federal Highway. Also, the dualization of Eket-Ibuna Road is well underway.
I want to thank NDDC for the number of years they have been on this road. So I thank NDDC for the number of years they have been on this road. At least I know that since I became a governor, NDDC have been on this road for at least 6 years of my being a governor. And I'm sure they were also on this road for the 8 years of Victor Akar. So that is just about 14 years. So I thank them. What we have been able to produce in 14 years is not good enough for Akwa Ibom. Am I right? That's why we are gathered here. You are all witnesses to what we are starting. We are coming here to show you small miracle in transformation. By the time we are through with this place, you will not recognize the road to Ibuna. Don't tell your children abroad what is happening now. Let them come and start asking, am I in London or am I in New York?
Work has since begun on the roads. Hear what the governor said during the flag-off ceremony.
The contractors are going to mobilize in 3 sites. They are going to start from Etinan and also start midway and also come from Eket. Because I want to make sure that the dualization is completed within my tenure. I don't intend to leave anything behind. So don't get worried and say, oh, they just start. We are going to also start from Etinan. We are mobilizing at Etinan end. We are mobilizing halfway in Eket, and we are mobilizing also from Eket side. And I can tell you, this place must become Ilumfianwe.
Work is also ongoing on the Yo Ikodekbene Aba dualization project. Signature projects such as the stadium, the multifaceted Tropicana Entertainment Center with a 250-room 5-star hotel, an event center, theme parks et al. Are all moving at fast pace. Does Governor Akpabio look like a man slowing down? The governor is simply fired up by an unrivaled drive to etch Akwa Ibom State on the global map of developed economies, a safe haven, and a destination of choice.
Really thank God for Almighty. I thank Almighty God for the enablement and for the vision given to our dynamic governor and for this uncommon transformation. I myself, since I was born, this is my first time of seeing this kind of project in my area. So I really thank God for him.
We are grateful to God Almighty and also grateful to Chief Akpabio for the job he has done here, because we have never expected this, as we have not seen any other governor doing this sort of job here. We are very happy to have him as our governor, and whatever we feel here, we know that he's the author who has done all things for us here.
Now, how was life like? How did you used to go to town to Arona?
We were in complete darkness before we can even go down here to N1 or our nearby community here, which is Ofi. We were using motorcycle. Some people cannot even use motorcycle by then. We trade by leg. So, but now we can use motorcycle, we can use car. Anytime we want to go to anywhere, we can flow.
The 2014 appropriation bill, when passed and signed into law, will be the last full budget Governor Akpabio will administer before buying out of office gratefully in May 2015. The days, weeks and months ahead will usher in harvest of completed and commissioned projects for use by Akwa Ibom people. The people call it Uncommon Transformation.
Uncommon Transformation television series brings to you the latest information of the monumental achievements of the Governor Akpabio Led Administration. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube to read the latest news, watch amazing videos and listen to in-depth analyses and interviews with the men and women working hand in hand with stakeholders to make Akwa Ibom State better. You can also log on to our website www.uncommontransformation.tv for more information. Uncommon Transformation television series, bringing to you the right and current information when you need it.